Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, First Community Financial Bank, the community bank where you come first. Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Wernette, and joining me now from Chicago area Families for Adoption are Mike Lepley and Michelle De La Tour. Welcome, your first time here with us at Spotlight.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. We're glad you can be here. Mike, we're going to start out with you.
Sure.
Tell us and explain what is CAFFA.
So CAFFA stands for Chicago Area Families for Adoption. We're one of the largest adoption support groups in the Midwest. We actually formed in 1973 as an offshoot of a Holt International, which is an adoption agency support group. And now we've grown to support all members of the adoption triad and the adoption constellation. Whether you're foster, international, or domestic, we've got folks that have walked the path that you're walking right now on your adoption journey.
I think it's interesting because you talk about your journey, and I'd like to we'll talk a little bit more about that because I know you both have personal journeys. But let's talk a little bit about some of the events, the activities. What do you do?
CAFFA holds 4 major events. We have an adoption conference that's held every 2 years. It's a day-long conference where there's information sessions for couples who are thinking about adoption, couples that are waiting to adopt. There's sessions for new and experienced parents that have kind of been through through the experience already. And we also have sessions that pertain to our adoption professionals that I think they feel is worthwhile for them to attend.
Okay.
We also have 2 summer camps that each run for a week. Kaleidoscope Culture Camp, which caters to children who are adopted internationally or through foster care, and they serve the Latin American population, African American, Chinese, and Eastern European.
Okay.
And then we have Camp Pride Korea that serves our Korean adoptee children. And then our last event is Walk for Adoption Chicago, and it's a day to celebrate adoptive families. We have music and games and lunch, and of course we take a walk.
Okay.
Otherwise,
why is the name?
Yes, exactly. So we take our walk to celebrate adoption.
Okay.
And then we also have some smaller events that are meetups just for coffee or to meet at the ice skating rink. So we have something for everybody.
Okay. Now, Mike, why is it important to have a support group?
You know, you have to look at that for pre-adoptive folks versus post-adoptive folks. So for pre-adoptive folks, you know, my wife and I, we adopted twice. My daughter's in your studio audience here. It's a complicated process, right? There's 5,000 decisions that you have to make. It's a domain of knowledge that you have to instantly become an expert just to be able to build your family, right? So we've got folks that have walked the journey for pre-adoptive folks. For post-adoptive folks, the journey doesn't end when you sign your adoption paperwork, right? You know, I was at a walk for adoption, I think it was the year before last, with my kids and my wife, and my daughter looked up at me and said, "Daddy, are all these kids here adopted?" Mm-hmm. And I said, "Well, yeah, a lot of them are adopted." And she said, "Just like us, Daddy." And she looked at my family. So it's important to make those connections with other adoptive families if you're if you've already gone through the adoption process for your kids and for yourself too.
I was just going to say, it sounds like for both parties, right?
Yeah, it really
Now,
is.
Michelle, how did you come to CAFFA?
I came to CAFFA via Walk for Adoption Chicago. My husband and I had been waiting to adopt for about a year, and I needed something else, some more support. Our family and our friends were really supportive, but no one knew what we were going through. No one knew the journey that we had been taking. And so I attended the first walk, and I was sucked in. The feeling of acceptance and knowledge that people had been going through the same things that we had gone through just made me feel so much better. Plus, it made me have a purpose while we waited. It gave me something to keep me busy. So I signed up to help organize the next walk, and I've been sucked in ever since. I've been a co-chair since 2011, and I continue to be a co-chair, and it is an event that is totally close to my heart. We got to bring my son to his first walk in 2012, and that was like the best one ever for me. It just made all of it real and all of it meaningful. And in 2015, CAFFA approached us as co-chairs and asked if we wanted to join the CAFFA family. And we just thought it was such a good fit that our goals were the same. We wanted to advocate for adoption and offer support and to celebrate adoption.
I think that's really, when you talk about it, and I think oftentimes people think about that post-adoption, which it just naturally comes to mind, but as you talk about that journey of having to wait and that whole process and having support in that environment, that's really powerful.
Yep.
Yeah. You've got an event coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So we've got the 2 summer camps that we talked about, Kaleidoscope Culture Camp and Camp Pride Korea, which are week-long events. September 24th, I believe it is, right? Okay, I got that right. The Walk for Adoption Chicago, again, a very positive event. And then
Where's it located? Where are you guys, where is the walk?
The walk this year will be located in Arlington Heights. We kind of we serve the entire Chicagoland area, so most of our events are all around the Chicagoland area.
Keep it moving.
Yes.
Yep. And then block off every Saturday in March 2017. We're still picking a date, but we've got that day-long conference, our biennial conference for people that have adopted and for people that are considering adoption. I mean, it's a huge event, and so looking forward to sharing the date once we get that nailed down.
And I would think that that would be very, very helpful resource all in one place.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got adoption professionals from all over the land that come to exhibit, to give presentations. I mean, it's a very informative and collaborative event with our adoption friends in the Chicagoland area.
Okay. Mike, we're going to just one more question for you.
Sure.
What do you think that CAFFA is able to do that others don't in this area?
You want to take that one?
Yeah. Sure. I think CAFFA is a unbiased hub for adoption information and support. We aren't affiliated with any agency or attorney, so we seek out events, opportunities to provide support to our members as well as the adoption community as a whole.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your stories, because I know that it's very heartfelt, and we appreciate that and we sense that. So if you would like to learn more about CAFFA's adoption support groups and the services that they offer, please go online and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back.